All right. What's up, traders? What's up, Tycoon? Super excited for today's video. We got to talk about DWAC, okay? Digital world. This is Trump stock, okay? Everybody knows that. And this stock absolutely exploded today. All right. Closed the day up 17.63%. So we're going to go into actually what's going on behind the scenes as well as break down the chart, okay? Now, this is our chart. We just broke this bearish structure that we had here. And we came up to a very important level right around $15 that ultimately we need to break above if we want to go bullish. We'll go over some of the bullish price targets that DWAC can extend to if we want to continue this rally, as well as the major support levels down below. All right, so we're going to break all of that down today. Today's video is sponsored by Simply Wall Street. It's a really amazing platform that I've used for a while. They have an awesome app and a really good website. And you guys can get a 14-day free trial by using the link in the description below or the pinned comment, and also up to 40% off for the first 100 people that join. Okay. More on them later. As always, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So please be sure to read through the full disclaimer. And let's go ahead and break down the chart real quick. So the first thing that I want to highlight here, I mentioned, we broke this structure that we had here. Okay, we had this bearish selling structure right here. You can see we got a very strong breakout and follow through, and we're actually above this line right here, this blue line. This is your year-to-date anchored VWAP. So what this means is that basically on the year, the average holder is up now, right? And they are green on their position. So this is leaning more towards the bulls starting to take control. Now, you do need to be cautious because we are very overbought, right? If you look at your RSI, typically an RSI above 70 is the technical definition of overbought. Now, does overbought always have to mean bearish, right? And that's one thing that hopefully a lot of people have actually learned this year is that being overbought and being up there, that shows a lot of strength, right? Now, can the stock pull back, right? And can it consolidate? Yes, it can. But really, this is showing you that there's a lot of strength in the stock right now. And, if the RSI does come down below these overbought levels, really what you want to watch out for is the second time it approaches that overbought area. Okay, you can see something very similar over here where it's very strongly overbought, pulls back down, and then it comes back to that overbought area. That's what, something that we could potentially see here on DWAC, right? And something to pay attention to. Now, with that being said, given that we are at these overbought levels, it's very important we understand the major support levels, right? And that's going to be here at 1411. We also have another one here at 1378 and 1345. Now, why are these three in particular so important, right? These are actually your major Fibonacci retracement levels. So after such a strong move up, right, typically things don't move in a straight line up or a straight line down, right? You get a move up, okay, retracement, and then a continuation of that trend, or a move down, retracement, continuation of that trend, okay? And so that's what these levels are going to give us right here. These are going to be all of the healthy retracement levels if we do pull back to potentially continue that uptrend, okay? But if the reason that I really like these is because essentially if we break through these levels, right? If we break through these levels, then you can spot a potential reversal to the downside, right? Because there's multiple ways to use the fibs, right? To spot that trend continuation to the downside or to the upside. Or if you move up, retrace, and you start to consolidate and break through those retracement levels, you can spot a potential downside reversal. So, these are the major levels that I'm going to be paying attention to. This blue box right here, this is actually what's known as a gap, okay? And there's a big gap on the chart here. And so we could get a gap and go where we gap up, consolidate, and continue going up higher. But you want to be cautious of a gap fill to the downside. If we break below that 1345 area here, which also happens to be our 61.8% retracement level, then there's a very strong chance that we get that gap fill. Okay, so set some alerts at these price levels. These are going to be the major support levels. 1519 is your major overhead resistance. Okay, you can see here it was the last line in the sand previously here back in October. All right. And then really once we flip this level to resistance from support, right, you can see here that, it tried to break below and it went back above, tried to break below, went back above. But once we actually flipped it to resistance, okay, from support, that's when we actually saw the big downtrend here in DWAC. Okay, so it's a very important psychological level, this 1519 right around this area. And you can see that that's where the rally ended up getting stopped out at. okay, before we saw a small little pullback. So you want to pay close attention to that area there. If we are able to break past and above 1519, there is the chance we could come up to 1603. All right, and above 1603, we would be looking for bullish price targets of 1701, 1752, 1825, and it's very possible, okay, not in the short term, but if this thing really wants to rally, we could see a rally all the way up even to $19. So those are going to be all of the specific price points that I'm paying attention to right now, as well as some of the different indicators like the anchored VWAP and the RSI. All right, that's what I'm looking at on DWAC, and I'm going to see how this thing develops over the coming future. If you guys are interested, you can always email me at ZachlyTrades@gmail.com for a one-on-one personal coaching session, and we can go over whatever you would like. Now, let's dive into why DWAC actually ran up so much today and why it's up. It closed at about 17.63%. And that's due to a positive update here regarding its regulatory problems. The Special Purpose Acquisition Company is best known for its partnership with Trump Media and Technology Group. Since joining forces with Truth Social parent company, though, DWAC has struggled significantly. Shares have plagued by constant regulatory probes and leadership turnover. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump's erratic behavior and questionable future have made it difficult for DWAC stock to rise even during favorable conditions. However, 2 days ago, the company did report that it may be on the verge of settling its current investigation with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. This may sound like good news. However, it doesn't mean that DWAC stock is on the verge of recovering or that now is the time to buy shares. So a little bit more of a bearish piece here, written by Investor Place. Okay, covering DWAC, and we'll go into why they think that maybe now is not the time to buy shares. Because if you take a closer look at the recent development and assess what investors can expect, it's been months since Digital World has had a positive catalyst to report. And on top of everything else, the continuous delaying of its actual merger hasn't helped DWAC stock. Today, though, the promise of finally settling its legal problems is finally pushing shares up. And at the time of the writing, DWAC was climbing more than 12% despite some volatility in the early morning trading. However, even settling its ongoing investigation isn't likely to make this company a stable investment. According to reports, Digital World has offered to settle with the SEC for $18 million. The ongoing regulatory procedure has certainly helped push DWAC down as it has delayed the merger. So at first glance, it might be easy to assume that settling will allow the deal to proceed, but this is where it becomes necessary for investors to dig a little deeper. For one, there's a history of tension between DWAC and its merger target that has complicated the deal, as hinted in recent regulatory filings. That means that even if the SEC accepts the offer, which it still has yet to do, the settlement is not a guarantee the merger will actually close. Per the Washington Post, the merger deal, which was originally set to conclude last year, is still frozen due to the SEC investigation, and Digital World has pushed to extend the deadline for another year past its September 8th target. In the filing, Digital World said that it's pursuant to its electronic mail Trump Media, believes it is currently only bound under the merger agreement through September 8th of 2023. That date, September 8th, is of crucial importance. If the merger does not close by then, Digital World is set to liquidate and return $300 million to investors. For that reason, the pressure to conclude the merger is ever increasing as September draws near. So I want to highlight this here specifically for you guys. September 8th is of crucial importance, okay? That's going to be the real big catalyst. It's not very far away, okay? It's not super close, but it's not very far away either, all right? We're already here in July. The year has been flying by, all right? And, July is going to fly by, then August, and boom, we're right there in September. So, all of those Trump supporters, social media, FinTwit, right? Stock Twitter, they're going to be paying a lot of attention to Digital World, all right, to DWAC. And this is going to be, definitely something to pay lots of attention to. Okay, I'm sure it's attracting a lot of short seller interest in it. You can clearly tell by some of the previous price action. But now that it's on the radar of everybody, we're gonna see lots of volatility here coming soon. But you definitely want to make sure that you are aware of that September 8th date. Okay, very important. So that's essentially it for today's video. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. All right. Do you think DWAC is about to rally? Do you think it's going to hit that 19 price level? Do you think that it's about to fill the gap back down? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Do you have any DWAC right now? Have you been a holder? Or are you interested in this for a short-term trade? Let me know what you guys think about the stock, and I'll see you in the next video.